Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Diaries of a Content Creator. Alexis Saranoy here. I'm so glad you're here because today I'm going to talk about a very interesting and important topic, and that is being in alignment with your goals. We're going to talk about money, we're going to talk about how to lead with heart, all kinds of different things in today's episode. So hopefully you will enjoy it. But let's get right to it. So a few months ago, I announced that I was going to make my next big goal, big hairy goal, be $1 million in revenue in the next 12 months. I had made over 200,000 my first year with YouTube, and I was like, maybe I can 5x that and go to $1 million in a year, because I saw some woman on LinkedIn who made 100,000 her first year with LinkedIn, and then she made $1 million the next year. So I was like, okay, maybe that should be my goal. And so I declared it to everyone. I said, I'm going after this goal. The problem is I'm not motivated by money at all. And excuse my voice, I'm getting over a cold, so I sound a bit like a frog. But so I'm not motivated by money. And I kept thinking, okay, maybe this is something I need to work through. Maybe I have a block, because you always hear about money blocks and limiting beliefs around money and all this blah, 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 right? I didn't grow up with that. So I grew up, and I believe still to this day, that money flows. If you work and you provide quality value in the world, you will get paid for it. And you can get paid wildly well for it, right? It's not rocket science in my mind, because I grew up with two parents who own their own businesses. They worked very hard. They built them from the ground up, and they had the money they needed. They always had the money they needed, right? So that's not where my money issues come from with this goal. And the reason I want to bring this up is because it really took me a long time. It took me 3 months of trying to pound this as my goal into my brain and stand behind it when I couldn't. And I realized the problem is, for me, is that it's not a value for me. And I think it's really important, if you're making a goal, that it's aligned with your values. And I think anything in life, it needs to be aligned with you. And if it's not aligned with you, it's going to become more difficult, like these last 3 months have been for me. It just has felt icky. But here's the reason why. I realized that money has always been a source of separation in my life. From pre-K to third grade, I went to private school, but I was too poor there. We were not wealthy enough. We were not old money. We were not trust fund babies. We didn't have mansions. We didn't have horses. We weren't of that wealth. And so when we had, in the kid pickup line, my dad pulled up in his Chevy Brown, old rusty work van. My mom pulled up in her Volkswagen Rabbit that was many years old, and we were in line with all the Mercedes and the whatever they are. I don't even care about fancy cars, so I don't even know the names. Porsches, whatever. And so I knew I was different. I knew I didn't belong there. I felt like I didn't belong there. I didn't have the fancy clothes, all of that stuff, right? And then in third grade, the economy crashed. Most importantly, the housing market. My father was a builder. And so his houses were sitting and they weren't selling as fast. When the housing market crashed, I went from private school to public school. And to be honest, even though the quality of education in the public school is definitely worse than private schools, the life education you get there is 100 times better. Private school is very sheltered, in my opinion. It was all white, all wealthy, very limited scope of what the real world is like. When I went to public school, I saw such a different reality, a reality I didn't even know existed, and I'm so grateful for it. But again, I didn't belong. I was too rich for public school. I had a big house because my dad was a builder, so he built our houses. I had a big house. We had nice clothes, all of those stuff, right? And so I didn't fit in at private school. I didn't fit in at public school. And the core reason was money. So money, in my mind, is a separator. It is not a unifier, right? And so to create a goal for my business and for my life based around money, it doesn't work for me. I value heart. I value kindness. I value helping people. And here's the thing that I want you to hear. You will get everything you want in life if you are aligned with your heart. It sounds cheesy, but it's true. When I came to YouTube, I was 100% aligned. I just wanted to help people. I had nothing to sell, right? Nothing to sell. I just came there. I had lost my job. I wanted an outlet, a creative outlet. I wanted to connect with people, and I was sharing what I was learning. And that felt good. Everything since the past 3 months has felt off. It hasn't felt right because everything has become about numbers, meeting this target, this financial goal, this blah, 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 all numbers. I'm not a numbers person. I'm a people person. I'm a person. I'm a heart person. I care about people, right? And so I'm changing my goal right now. And what I've done to get out of my ick is to just go back to giving as much as I can to you on YouTube. So this next 2 months, I'm posting 5 days a week how to grow on YouTube, just to help you, to get you to grow your channel, because so many of you are sitting in stuckness, and I want you to get out of stuckness. I want you to succeed on YouTube. So I have just gone back to providing tons of value, not worrying about money, not worrying about this stupid goal. And here's what I will tell you. I am so happy. I am so much happier. I might not sound like it the way I'm saying it right now, but I'm so much happier. This is me. This is my zone of genius. I love caring about people. I love bringing their talents to the surface, showing them that they are capable. And the reason I got distracted by this goal is because I felt like, because of people who are watching those videos on my channel, whenever I post a video about money on my channel, it gets a million times more views than my other videos, right? But just because the majority of the population is obsessed with money doesn't mean I need to be obsessed with money. So my point is, when it's truly your goal, it is effortless. It is, believe me, it is effortless to get there. Like I said, when I came to YouTube, I didn't have a mission to make money. It was so easy. It was so easy to attract people, to make videos that felt good, all of that stuff. So what I want you to take from this is, your goal might not be wrong, but your reasons for pursuing it might be. And here's what I've learned, and what I hope you can take away from this podcast today, is a goal has to be aligned with you. If it drains you, it's the wrong goal. If it feels heavy, if it feels awkward, if it feels icky, it's the wrong goal. If it disconnects you from yourself, it's the wrong goal. You don't have to fix yourself to fit a goal, which I felt like I had to do, right? You don't have to do that. Sometimes the goal needs to change, not you. Not every resistance is a limiting belief. Some resistance is a value, and values shouldn't be overruled. I want to tell you that alignment is bigger than ambition. Ambition without alignment leads to burnout. Ambition with alignment leads to flow. So you're allowed to rewrite your goals anytime. You're not failing if you pivot. You actually are just growing. And so what I'm choosing instead now is, I'm still keeping the $1 million target somewhere in the background, but not as my mission, but as a measurement. It can be a measurement, but I'm done leading with it. I'm done forcing it. I'm done pretending money inspires me, because it doesn't. What inspires me is people, creators, transformation, growth, service, love. And every time I show up with my heart, the money follows anyway. And that's the message I want to teach more than anything on my channel. People trust people who lead with heart. People buy from people who lead with heart. People grow with people who lead with heart. Money is not the North Star. Alignment is. And the same might be true for you. If something in your life feels off, pause. Don't bulldoze it completely. Don't shame yourself for not matching the goal. Ask yourself, is this a limiting belief, or is this a value misalignment that I'm not meant to override? Because the moment you choose alignment, everything else falls into place. Money flows, opportunities flow, people flow. You feel like yourself again. And that is where real success lives. So this whole rambling on this episode is just to say, home is where the heart is. If you make a goal and it feels like it's heavy, change it. I'm changing mine. You don't need to follow the crowd. Just because the crowd seems to love money, just because the crowd seems to love one particular type of video on your channel, you don't have to make that your value system. You don't have to make that part of who you are. I will still post how much money I make on my channel, because it helps to grow my channel, helps me to reach more people, which is my ultimate goal. However, if I can reach them with the money videos, but then I share my heart in those videos and I show them, but you don't need to be gross. You don't need to be deceptive. You don't need to be living in misalignment to succeed in life. In fact, it will push you further from the life you want to live faster than anything. That way, I can post those videos knowing that they're making a difference. So Anyway, my focus is on you. My focus is on providing value so that you can live your dream life, so that you can see your potential, so that you can see where you're supposed to go in life and how to get there, and give you the tools that help you get there faster. Because as many of you know, I do shamanic journeying, and every time in my shamanic journeying, my role, my purpose in life is to light you up, is to show you your light through the reflection of me. Meaning, you watch my videos to remind you of how powerful you are, because you are powerful. We are all powerful, but you especially are powerful. And if you are not shining your light on the world and sharing it with the world, you will always stay small. And the only way to get out of that small space is to stop hearing the noise outside and look inside. I 100% can stand behind saying your heart will lead you to success faster than your mind ever will. So next time you feel like life is heavy, you feel depressed, you feel down, you feel misaligned, you just feel like everything is against you, say, screw that. I'm going inside. I'm going to ask myself, my soul, my higher self, my heart, whatever you want to say, whatever you connect with. Maybe you want to connect with God. I don't know. But connect with something deeper. Because when you go deeper and you connect with your true purpose, your true calling, you will succeed. Here's the thing too. Think about Mother Teresa. What she was doing, she was helping people. She always had a place to stay. She always had food because she spent her life taking care of other people. So your life will be as great as you allow your heart to open. That's what I believe. And that's what I'm going to show up for with my channel, because I cannot stand behind money as my goal, as my motivator. I just can't. And I just need to accept that. And it's fine. And that's who I am. Some people can. And this is nothing against them. This is nothing against if you have a money goal and that drives you and you love that and that is like your reward and that works for you, fantastic. It doesn't work for me. The point of this episode is to tell you, or to open your eyes to the fact that, because I don't want to tell you what to do, to open your eyes, to open your mind to, if you are feeling resistance with something you're trying to do, pay attention to that resistance and ask yourself, is it a resistance that is challenging me, that if I back away from this resistance, I'm hiding? Then you need to push through that resistance. Then on the other side of that resistance, on the other side of that struggle is unicorns and rainbows. But if it's a resistance because it's just not aligned with your values as a human, as a person, something you can't stand behind, then that resistance you need to let go and go back to your values and stand behind what you believe in so that you can get to the life you want to live. So hopefully this was helpful. And for those of you that aren't aware, or if you're watching this later, I am doing a series right now on how to grow your YouTube channel. I've created a workbook and everything. You can download it for free on all of those videos. It will be in the description. And I really want you to go on YouTube, to share your voice, to help the world, to make the world a better place. And like I've said from the beginning, my main goal with this is to make the world a better place for my children and your children and the children of the world, and also us, the ones that are living it, the ones that are trying to make a difference in the world. Because if you show up with your light and you help other people by shining your light, they will be able to shine their light, and it will create this beautiful ripple effect, and it will make the world a better place. Because when people are living in alignment, they're happier, they're more peaceful, they're more calm, there's less war, there's less violence, there's less anger. And that's my ultimate goal. So remember to shine your light, to allow your light to shine. I have to hammer this into your mind. You are here for a reason. Your heart is meant to be shown. And when you show your heart, success will follow. Money will follow. Everything you want will follow when you show up as yourself. I know that to be true. I've seen it happen in my life a million times over. When you show up with heart, when you show up with who you are, you will succeed. You will reach success. And success might not be monetary success. It might be some other form of success, but it's the success that's aligned with who you are. And yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.